So it's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and dale to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary. 'Cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee. A fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of Gothic Horror Gaming here on Nat 21 Adventures. I am your host, the Gloom Master, Tom Zadoyko, and we will be exploring this evening a brief adventure over the next 2 Wednesdays, set in 1990, so a little bit of nostalgia for all of us. But before I get into the actual game itself, let us take a few moments to thank our sponsors. First of all, we would like to thank Wren Adventures, our constant sponsor. And we have a new tour coming up in June 2nd through the 7th in Muncaster, England. It's in the Lakes region of Western England. We are going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons in the castle. Your dungeon masters will be myself, Ryan Gelodi, a frequent on here on the channel, and Paulo Garbanzo himself. We'll be touring, doing all sorts of cool stuff in and around the castle area. We're going to be traveling to the gardens that were the inspiration for Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. They're about an hour away. So we'll be doing day trips to all sorts of cool things. And then in between, we'll be playing a 7-session Dungeons & Dragons 5e game, which we were just hammering out the details for this week. I'm very excited about it, and I hope you'll join us. That's June of this coming year. Also, I'd like to thank our good friends over at 3d2u.org, our good friends Jesse and Amy, making all sorts of gaming products, laser cut and 3D printed dice towers, dice trays, all sorts of paraphernalia for all of your gaming needs. Check them out at 3d2u.org. And of course, we'd like to thank ourselves. Handler Z is in the background. She is Melissa Lee. She has written a book. It is a collection of short stories, short horror and science fiction, as well as some dark poetry, available on Amazon with Kindle and on Audible, where I do the narration. Check that out. It's called Dare by Melissa Lee. Now about tonight. Tonight is a horror game. What that generally means is that we will be exploring things of common phobias. It could be violence, gore, very uncomfortable horror situations. So if that is not your cup of tea, I totally understand. But just to let you know up front that that's what this stream is. It's a tabletop horror role-playing game. We are set in the Chill universe. The Chill universe is just like our world, only the supernatural is very real. They call it the unknown. And it is lurking behind the scenes. It is not generally known to the public, but there are a select few that know about it and do fight against it. But that is not what we're dealing with tonight. We are dealing with people who have no experience with the supernatural. And we will see what happens when they encounter it firsthand. Now, the rule system that we are using is also different. We are using the over-the-edge rules. It is a game system that is very simple. Every character has 3 traits, a primary trait and 2 side traits. And these traits could be anything. They could be policeman as a primary, and your side traits are devoutly religious and stamp collector. That's your character, essentially. Anytime you want to do something, you roll a number of 6-sided die and attempt to hit a target number in order to succeed. And you see if that action falls underneath any one of your traits, that will tell you how many dice. If something falls underneath your primary trait, you will get to roll 4d6 to hit that target number. For instance, our police officer is attempting to discharge their firearm to shoot someone. They would roll 4d6 as that is their primary trait. However, if that same character is trying to determine where, let's say, where a letter came from, a mysterious letter that they've discovered. Being a stamp collector, he would be well-versed in postage and also the marks that were made on envelopes. So in order to determine where a letter came from and the countries that it passed through on its way there, he would roll 3d6 as that is a side trait. If it does not fall underneath any of their traits, for instance, the same character is trying to rewire a fuse panel, they would roll 2d6. Now, for those of you on Twitch, you can affect the outcome of the game. You can spend your Twitch points with our good friend over in the stream, Dracula's stepdaughter, which I hope she is here already. It's hard to tell from my end. But you spend your Twitch points and declare who you want to give a help to. Your help can be used to buy, your Twitch points can be used to buy helps. Those will accumulate. We'll have them all in. And then whenever a player wants to roll, they see if they have any helps available. And for every help they choose to spend before the die roll, they get to add a d6 to their roll. However, they can still only take the highest number of dice that they would normally be allowed. For example, our police officer is firing his gun. He elects to use a help. Instead of rolling 4d6, he gets an extra die. He rolls 5 and attempts to hit the target number, but can only take the highest 4 of those 5 rolls because that is what he would normally be maxed out at. That does increase the odds of getting 5s and 6s, however, so it certainly does help. You can also give those helps to me, the Glue Master, if you wish to be particularly devilish. Now then, our scenario tonight. The year is 1990. The location is the Pacific Ocean, the North Pacific. We are on board the bulk cargo merchant vessel, the Caroline. It is a 900-foot long, 100 feet abeam bulk cargo vessel, a geared cargo vessel, and it looks a little something like this. It's called a geared cargo vessel because geared means that there are cranes built onto it. So this is our setting in the North Pacific, crossing from Portland, Oregon to Yokohama, Japan, with 50,000 tons of loose grain wheat. The crew, there is a 19-person crew aboard this ship. It is helmed by the master of the ship, Mr. Henry Davidson. But our players tonight are some of the crew, and we'll take a moment to meet them now. We start off with Second Officer Kelsey Grapes, is it?
It's Grappes.
Grappes, of course.
Everybody thinks it's grapes. It's Grappes. It's Greek. I'm sorry. I'm Greek. That's why I'm a little fiery. I had the ship cat with me. He has since then buggered off to look for more rats, keeping the rats off the wheat. His name's Oliver. It's not after the cartoon cat. It's after Oliver Twist. A lot of people get that wrong.
Understandable. Can you describe yourself a little bit physically? What would people see when they look at you?
They see me. They see your standard second mate. I about 5'2", $150. I like to play some softball when I'm not on the boat. Have a little team with some other seafaring people. We call ourselves the Submariners. It's hilarious. Yeah, I've got short, blondish, brownish hair. I kind of exist to not be looked at. I'm just here to facilitate, not oversee, but just see, make sure that everything's going right, make sure that that all the master's orders are being carried out and followed. And I hate to make a joke where one is not appropriate, but I like to think we ride on tight ship.
Very good. As Second Officer, Kelsey Grappes is actually about third in command on the vessel. It goes the master, the chief officer, then there's a second officer, a third officer, and so on down the line. This is not a military vessel; it is civilian, but there still is a hierarchy. So that is your second officer. We also have able seaman Nick Morgan is here.
How you doing? Been doing this, working cargo shipping for about 3 years now. Before that, I was in the Navy. But after I left the Navy, I decided I wanted to stay at sea. So decided to go into merchant vessels and a little bit more private industry. Like I said, been doing it for about 3 years. Been working up, hoping to eventually become an officer, maybe take Grape's job eventually. As far as what I look like, I am pretty much average in every way. My head is shaved, even though I don't need to. I'm clean shaven. I'm about 5'10", between 5'10" and 5'11", maybe about $175. Not particularly large, but not particularly small either. Thoroughly average-sized human being.
All right. Very good. As an able-bodied seaman, Nick would be one of the general-purpose sailors aboard the ship, doing all of the work around the vessel. That is much more the manual labor sort of thing. We also have here with us ship's cook Michael McLeod.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you describe yourself to what would somebody see when they look at you?
I'm a reasonably tallish figure. I'm about 6 foot tall. Sandy hair. I usually wear my hat because I'm a cook, and I'm just always ready to make you something tasty, or to talk to you about the latest novel I read, or to keep talking about how completely crap Star Trek V was.
Very well. As the ship's cook, Michael McLeod falls underneath the steward department. So his direct supervisor is the chief steward, Kevin Marigold. And then there's the ship's cook. The steward basically oversees the living arrangements. The ship's cook, obviously, makes all the meals for the crew. And then there is also a steward's assistant who just generally helps both of the two of them out, Ed Milacek. So that is your steward's crew compartment. But we also have, representing the engineering section, we have Rob Hausencheck.
Yeah, it's a job, and this contract's just as good as any other. I'm kind of low down on the old wrench turners union situation we got down here, but I mean we keep it running. We keep it on the water, which is generally where a vessel like this needs to be. I'm about 6 foot, which ain't great for these quarters, if I'm honest, but I'm a lanky fella. I can fold up and just weasel in on anything I need to. And also pretty good at climbing up things, and that also saves me a bit of time. Of course, safety is all about that, but that's what we got railings for. I can just climb on them.
That's right. So Rob is actually the third engineer. There's a chief engineer, Fred Armstrong. Then there's a second engineer, the only other woman on the ship, Betty Salvatore. Then there's
she's a hard ass. She is a hard ass, and she is gunning for whatever position. I'm sorry.
That's tight working conditions and a lot of noise and a lot of stress. There's also a fourth engineer who is actually technically beneath you, Harold White. And then there is an oiler and a wiper. Those are specialized functions in the engine room itself. And those are headed by two other individuals. So that roughly is your crew. There are a couple other able-bodied seamen, a bosun, a third officer, a bosun, a deck cadet. So 19 people in total. And we find ourselves 6 days out of Portland, Oregon, with a load of grain. Yes, I am looking business casual because I did not know I was going to be running a stream this week, and I am not in my own home. So this is the closest I can get to a generic ship crew quarters. So there's what I've got.
You look very dapper, sir.
Thank you. So far, 6 days out, not much has happened. The crew is generally divvied up into watches. And so very often whenever the master is on, Henry Davidson, the chief officer is resting, and that is Martin Galliard. Then the deck officers, the second and third deck officers, will also alternate. So usually the master will be on. Kelsey is very often with the master, second officer. Able-bodied seaman Nick Morgan is also usually on that watch, as is Nikolai Chernikov. He's one of the other able-bodied seamen. The other two seamen then are on the other watch rotation. And as far as below deck, very often it is Rob with the chief engineer, Fred Armstrong, and then the second and fourth engineer are on the other watch. The cook is just off and on all day long, just feeding the crew as best as possible. So it is about 10 in the morning, on your sixth day out, proceeding along. Everything has been progressing just fine. Obviously, you are out in the deep Pacific at this point. The waves are rolling gently. It's not a stormy sea, but it is certainly not calm. Probably some 6 to 8 foot seas, which for a 900-foot vessel like yours, you're in a Panamax category bulk cruiser, which is 900 foot long, 100 feet abeam. You barely even feel it. Your vessel is so large. When the master, Henry Davidson, calls Kelsey on over, second officer.
Sir.
I've noticed that there's been a slight shift in the load. The sensors in the holds are denoting that our grain has shifted almost up 3 degrees from level. Obviously, it's probably just from the ocean, the rocking of the waves hitting us from a certain side. I don't need to remind you that if our load shifts over 20 degrees, we will capsize.
Yes.
So I need you to take A.B. Morgan with you, and go on down and use the loader and level out the grain.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and check the ballast while we're down there as well. That I think that's a prudent idea.
Of course. I mean, our no sensors have gone off about the ballast, but if the angle continues, I'll have to shift ballast in order to compensate. But yeah, go on and take A.B. Morgan down there with you. Kelsey picks up Morgan. Very often, there's a little propane-powered front-end loader left in there for that specific purpose. After loading the grain to level everything out. Grain will shift over time with the vibrations of the ship, and if it builds up too much on one side, it will cause the vessel to tip over. So you have Morgan with you, Nick Morgan.
All right. All right, Morgan. Looks like a pretty standard. Just gotta re-zen the garden of wheat.
Alrighty, I'll get in there. I'll try shifting it around. You watch the monitors and just radio into me when it looks like. Tell me if I'm getting anything. Okay.
Absolutely, Channel 3.
All right. After a brief period of time, you do manage to level out the grain. While you're down there, though, Nick and Kelsey, both of you. Roll me 3d6.
You're not what I was looking for. There we go.
9.
7.
All right. Yeah, you seem to get the grain leveled out. Everything is fine.
Okay.
You run out of propane at the very end. You managed to finish your job, but it's going to require you to go back to engineering and get another. Those big propane cylinders that you put on the back of a propane powered like forklift or front end loader. You need some more of that.
I'm going to go ahead and take care of that now so we have it next time we need it.
Good idea, Seaman.
And the two of you will pass by into the engine room where Rob is currently on duty.
Allison, check.
Officer Grappy. Am I saying that right? I'm so sorry.
It's actually closer than most people get.
Man, I just hate when people is ignorant about pronunciation. It's unnecessary. What can I do for you?
We need a propane canister.
All right. How many you need?
Think one to replace and one for a spare.
2,
Got
yeah.
it. Yep. Where they heading?
To the grain silo 2.
2.
This hold 2.
Hold 2.
Oh,
All right. I got
That's up toward the front of the ship, toward the bow.
That checks off this. I was gonna have them checked anyway. You've just saved me some time. I can help you up with them myself.
Alrighty.
All right. So the three of you take the propane cylinders up to the hold number 2. You can see on this schematic that they're numbered along the length of the vessel. So hold number 2 is up fairly close to the front of the ship.
Guessing 1, 3, and 5 are starboard, and 2, 4, and 6 are port.
No, they're all in a line together. They're straight
I see it
down the
now.
line.
I see it now.
Yeah, the holds basically go the entire width of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
You get up to the front, and as you're loading the propane, you all feel a slight shudder in the ship. Almost like it's the kind of feel that if the seas were rougher, you would expect that from being broadsided by a mid to large size wave. Still no danger to the ship, but given the seas that you just saw outside, that seems a little large, a little big of an occurrence.
Morgan, did we just check the ballast?
Yeah, that didn't feel like ballast though. That felt like something kind of ran into us.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up to the bridge and check with the captain. Are you good to keep sorting the grain?
Well, the grain's all set, so I'm just going to make sure that before I head up, I'm going to make sure that the new propane tank is hooked up and the other one is filled properly.
I'll go check with see if old Fred's got any readings down in terms of what that was.
Well, you will conveniently be passing basically through virtually all of you through the machinery room.
Looks like we're all going the same way anyway. Goodbyes are not necessary.
Yeah.
You arrive, and the Fred is like, "Did you feel that?"
Yeah. Did it show up as anything? Is it
Nothing? None of our instruments changed, but that was from the starboard side, and it was I felt that.
Anything on the radar, sir?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, I thought we were on the bridge.
You might want to go up and check with the master up top side.
Yep.
As you go on up through, you go up through the crew deck, wherein the the galley and the ship's cook, Michael McLeod, is out leaning over the side of the railing, looking to starboard because he felt it too.
Oi, Gaffer. Did you feel that?
I felt that.
Yeah.
Did anything get knocked around, or like how are you?
Oh, well, I'm perfectly fine. I'm a little gobsmacked at just like anything that's going on there. Like, did we get hit by a whale or an iceberg?
Well, I'm gonna go up and check the radar, and we're gonna find out.
All right, I don't want a Titanic situation here, though. All right.
We don't say that word.
Yeah, you're already you're tap dancing on the verge of a faux pas, my friend. You got to be careful.
Death in theater.
This is like that time that you tried to bring bananas on board.
They're full of
that.
potassium and they're good for you, and you should know that.
Don't put bananas on a boat.
They're full of potassium. How do you
Yeah,
expect?
they also. I don't need to be slip sliding down there over anything.
How do you expect they get across the ocean from anywhere that they go?
I do not have the time to explain fluid friction to you, my friend. We've got to go take care of this business.
Can I get any of you a coffee? Anyone need a coffee?
Yes, I'll have.
Coffee.
All right, coffee. All right, here
I'm
we go.
here. It's here.
Got a new espresso machine. It's very fancy. I'm making American.
Ooh.
Yep, here you go.
Damn it, we spend 20 minutes in the northwest, and he has to he gets his. We're all hooked.
Can I
It's
get a lid on
fantastic.
mine just in case that happens?
Absolutely, Gaffer. Here you go.
I'm gonna go to Radar now.
I'm going to start working on lunch.
Gonna check out Mr. Radar. This has been Mr. Coffee.
Very good. You push Rick Moranis out of the way, and
Now.
Dark Helmet's out of the way now, and
now it also would be Gary Berghoff, honestly.
that
He was
radar.
radar.
That radar. I was referring to Spaceballs.
Yeah,
I can only
Mr. Coffee,
apologize.
Mr. Radar.
Yeah, Mr. Radar, Mr. Coffee. I thought we were all going with it.
Well, you get up, and the master, Henry Davidson, is actually there, and he says, "Did you all felt that, right?
Yes, sir.
Because we didn't see anything up here.
Nothing on the instruments.
No, there's no ice in for at least 50 nautical miles in every direction. We should be good for that. The satellite doesn't have anything going on. It must have been subsurface, whatever it was. There was no strain, no rogue waves or anything.
So I was gonna ask.
Something hit us from underneath. Not hard.
Well, it could be pollution. It could be a cross current. It
was definitely on the starboard side, toward the bow.
Okay. I'm just gonna take a perimeter walk and see if it could be a stray pod.
All right. Morgan, you good to go with her?
Yeah, I'll go with her.
All right.
Since it's my watch anyway, so
Engineer, anything?
we'll look over the side.
I mean, unless you got something for me to tell Fred to look out for, he felt it too. That's why we're all up here.
All right. Well, double check the ballast systems too. They're in the second hold on the outside, so let's make sure that nothing got ruptured. But it didn't feel like anything ruptured.
We'll run a level 2 diagnostic. I'm happy to do it.
Well, yeah, go and get some eyes on that and see what's going on.
Aye.
Let me know, because we're about to going to shift watch after lunch, so want to make sure that we've got we're sure that we're handing over the ship to second watch in good order.
Yes, sir.
Going up front, nothing appears to be damaged. Nothing appears to have broken, and nothing really to report. You don't see anything out. There's no damage on the outside of the ship. There's no damage in the ballast tanks. It was like something nudged you, forcibly nudged you, but nudged you.
Didn't knock us off course or anything?
Not apparently not. Lunch
It's
is
possible
served.
the grain to shift a little bit, not to the point where it went out of balance, but that it just shifted to one side.
Yes, and that's exactly the kind of thing that might cause the grain to shift.
I would have gotten there eventually.
you get in for lunch. Michael McLeod is there. He's
I
serving.
made bangers and mash for all of you.
Oh,
It's
God.
fantastic.
This is the third day in a row
nice
for bangers
lunch.
and mash, by the way.
It's lovely. I'm making a good pot roast tonight.
What are we getting?
Oh, you'll have pot roast too. It's gonna be great. Is anybody interested in some homemade ice cream? I have a churner.
Yeah. Ice cream sounds wonderful.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Strawberry.
I'm taking a look at that just to see if I can't. I can't. I forgot I was Southern for a second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna,
Sometimes when you haven't had ice cream for a while, it makes you forget that you're Southern.
I know a fella who is so lactose intolerant, he punched a cow. Let me go back. There we go. All right. Back on board. I'm going to take a look at this here ice cream churn and see if I can't figure out a way to make help him out so he's not hand churning that himself.
No. It's fantastic. It's like a whole. It's a whole contraption. It's absolutely great. I'm just chuffed to have it, honestly.
I'm gonna make a mechanics check to see how long I expect this to last.
What, the ice cream machine?
Yeah,
I just bought it in Portland.
Go ahead.
It's
well,
very
that's
nice.
a 12.
Seems to be a fairly sturdy design.
Well, as long as you didn't get this secondhand from a McDonald's, I think we should.
No,
be fine.
I got it from one of those lovely airport stores.
This ain't Sky Mall, is it?
It's not Sky Mall. It's the other one.
Hammock or Slemmer.
A Sharper Image?
Sharper Image. There you have it. Yeah, I got it at the Sharper Image store.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The Sharper Image. Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah. Sell all bespoke things just like all the other bespoke things they sell.
It's lovely. I might have a problem. I got this and I got my espresso machine.
I want to know, did you go and stop by Things Remembered and have it engraved while you were at it?
We were going to surprise him with that at the end of the run.
Sorry.
Listen, I don't need to talk about whether or not I went to Things Remembered at the mall. It's fine. All right. But I do have a label maker that just simply says mine.
Nick Morgan and I are going to go to Claire's and get our ears pierced.
Oh, are you just a bunch of mall rats now?
Yeah.
Nick Morgan needs a feather earring, just the one.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I was permanently banned from Sam Goody for selling a REM demo. I talked to the feller behind the counter. He was the one in. I'm sorry.
While you that, I'm going to head over to the combination Auntie-Anne Cinnabon.
Oh, what do you think we're on? A luxury cruise? No, we're not.
No, then there'd be an Orange Julius.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So lunch / breakfast for the crew coming on.
And that's why it's bangers and mash.
For breakfast.
Yeah.
The afternoon passes without event, and the four of you actually are off duty overnight, while the second watch is on. But at very, very late at night, suddenly you hear an alarm bell wakes you from your slumbers. The ship's alarm sounds.
All right, I am up, pulling on my hoodie and putting on my shoes as quickly as possible.
Oh, I thought I was dreaming that somebody was watching Star Trek V again.
I'm pretty much in the same state of
Seaman Morgan, what's going on?
So as you get out of your cabins and
stations.
get to duty stations, you hear Master Davidson over the ship's intercom. We've apparently been struck by something. We listed pretty hard. I need Seaman Morgan and Chernikov to go with Second Officer Grappes and go into hold 2 to check the level. The sensors went out.
Hold 2 again. All right.
All right. Probably meet them there, or are we still assigning?
Other people are being given other tasks.
Okay.
Rob, you are told. Actually, Rob, you were told to go with them. The rest of the engineering crew is already on duty, so you're not needed in the engine room per se. But they want to make sure that they have some extra people there to help. McLeod, you're pretty much left in the. No one's really paying attention to you at the moment.
I'm just going to go to the galley and just start whipping up some coffee. I'm assuming people are going to be needing it since.
Well, in there, Stewart's assistant Ed Milicek is already making coffee.
Oh, Ed!
Yes, Mr. McLeod. He's a young man. Yes, Mr. McLeod. Yes.
You got the coffee going there?
I do. I'm making enough for everybody.
All right. Are you making Americanos, or are you just doing regular filtered?
He gestures to the large industrial-sized coffee maker.
All right. Well, all right. That'll do. That'll be fine. All right. And then let's just start running it out, because people are really busy. So let's take these out to them at their workstations.
Oh yeah, good idea, sir. Good idea.
Yeah, get the trolley.
So you start there's a yes, you're distributing the coffee throughout the ship.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, up in hold 2, the grain there is noticeably shifted to one side. You hear over the intercom Master Davidson say, the ship is listing 5 degrees to port. I need that grain leveled.
Get working on it.
Yep, I hand him a walkie-talkie. All right, walk me through what you see. The sensors are out. Whatever that thumping is, I think we're gonna have to come in here pretty regularly to sift it out if that keeps going on.
I'm gonna start working on these sensors, see if I can't recalibrate them.
All right, go ahead and give me a mechanics roll.
That's a 15.
All right. Yeah, they've just been jostled loose. So adjusting them probably from the impact on the starboard side, because it's the starboard side sensors that have gone wonky.
I'm gonna after I see that, I'm gonna go through, and since they're all just kind of there, this is an easy fix. I'm just gonna go through and double check that they are all secure.
All right. There's 2 in each hold on each side of the ship. So there's 2 starboard and 2 port ones here in hold number 2, which is where you are right now. So you're working on those. At that moment, Michael McLeod comes in. He's got coffee for you all.
Oh, it's not Americanos. It's filtered, but it'll get the job done, lads.
God damn it, Ed.
And at this point,
Ed, he's young.
You hear a sound outside the ship. Underwater, a low note, ooh note that just echoes through the steel hull of the ship. And I would like you all to roll me. Well, you're up there with that running. So roll me 4d6.
17.
Holy smoke.
16.
13.
18.
All right. You all shake your heads, and it actually makes maybe you slightly dizzy for a moment. That sound. It was very disorienting.
What's in the coffee, McLeod?
It's just filtered coffee, Gaffer.
Chernikov, who's also with you, he's a Russian, Russian-born, but he's been living in the States for a while. But he says, "What was that?"
No idea. Don't think it could be a whale.
Was that whale song?
It might have been. It was hard to tell. Rob, aren't you an audiophile?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me that.
That's only a 10.
You're fairly certain it wasn't man-made. That's all you know. It was not a man-made sound. It wasn't like somebody was blasting music from a submarine or something like that.
It sounds organic. We might be like judging on that. It might be a whale. I ain't never heard them.
That'd be a big ass whale for us to hear it in the hold.
I mean, not necessarily. They're able to make tones that are heard for miles, so they could just be really close.
Like there's blue whales and sperm whales.
Do we have any marine biologists on board?
No, you do not.
Nerds.
However, Chernikov does go, if I heard it again, I might know if it were whale. I have heard whale plenty before. I just could not tell. It caught me off guard.
Morgan, you've been on your share of boats, deep sea. You ever hear anything like this?
Not that I recall.
All right. Well,
most of my trips were across the Atlantic or sitting in the Mediterranean.
So the grain is back to level now?
Yes, you managed to level out the ship.
All right. I'm going to go check in with the captain.
What about the rest of you? What are you doing?
I'm checking.
Is there a catwalk above the grain?
I'm sorry?
Is there a catwalk in the hold that goes up above like the grain?
Yes, there is actually.
I'm actually gonna I'm gonna go up there and check it out with a flashlight.
Yeah, it's called the tween deck. It's up. So there's the grain, there's the hold with the grain in it, and then there's a space, and then there's the hatch. In fact, I think you can see it. Let me show you the diagram again. This doesn't show it very well, but there is a narrow space above each hold along the length of the ship, which is deliberately left open, and there is a catwalk around it.
I'm gonna go and check the connections on all them sensors.
In all the other holds as well?
Just as many as I can get to.
I mean, you could conceivably get to them all.
Yeah, does that tween deck run the entire length of the ship, or
it is still separated?
Okay, so you go up, go across, go down, through.
No, you can go through, but there are watertight doors that go between.
Okay.
The idea being that if one of the compartments floods, the water will be contained to that one.
Isn't that what happened in the Titanic?
Stop saying Titanic.
The problem was though, like the berg didn't just like slam it; it scraped. It was more like someone keying your car, but if it was going through it, that's what happened there.
Now I have a new song. I keyed your Cunard liner. All right.
In San Francisco.
More like Portland, but yeah.
So Rob, you're going down the length of the ship, checking out all the sensors.
Yep.
All right. And Nick, you are going along the tween deck, checking all the holds from above on the catwalk.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're going along, actually, Rob and Nick, you are in hold 5, dead amidship, right in the center of the ship. And you both get in there and you hear something going on down there. And you see able-bodied seamen Harris Twombly and G. Young are in there with shovels. And they are shoveling grain ineffectually but forcefully to the port side. They are in the bottom of the ship, just in the grain hold, just shoveling from the center line of the ship over to port.
On radio, we got a situation in hold 5. And I'm just reporting with exactly that.
Kelsey, you hear it?
Go on, Morgan.
And just to clarify where people are, ship's cook Michael McLeod, you are heading back. You do not hear it. You are on deck, heading back to the galley at this point. So you're en route. So go ahead, Kelsey.
Is there no forklift available? What's going on down there, Morgan?
It doesn't look like, I'm going to assume it doesn't look like they're trying to shift it back to being normal.
No, they are doing the opposite.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to purposefully stack to one side. Hey, I'm going to scream out to them. What the hell are you two doing?
They do not respond and keep methodically shoveling.
I engage with no response. They're continuing to shovel.
We wouldn't have security on a ship like this.
In the 90s, no.
All right.
We are
I am on my way, and I grab a hardy fellow if I see one to retain these men.
You were basically going back. You were basically in line with ship's cook Michael McLeod. He's who's next to you, and he hears. He's standing next to you. You haven't gotten back to where any of the rest of the crew are yet.
Gotcha.
You've also not heard anything else on the radio yet either from anyone.
All right. McLeod. Guess what? You're my muscle right now. Hope you're caffeinated. Let's go.
So you grab ship's cook McLeod, and you start heading back to hold number 5.
I'm going down.
Rob, what are you doing? He hasn't had a chance to do anything yet. Rob, what are you doing?
I'm gonna check the other holds if there's a similar situation.
Oh, so you're gonna peek through, leave those guys there, and peek through the other hold? There is no one in hold 6 at the moment.
All right, I go back and join Nick.
All right. At this point, Second Officer Kelsey and ship's cook McLeod, who is being drug along by Second Officer Kelsey, show up at hold number 5.
No. Is there a door?
The 3 of you are up on the catwalk. Rob
Okay.
is down below.
All right, and they are not responding to us yelling at them.
No, they are just methodically, mechanically even, just shoveling, which is not effective. It's not going to... Their shoveling will take days for it to affect the list of your ship.
They shouldn't be in there. I'm getting them out of there. Can I get down in there to?
Oh yeah. There are ladders that go down into it.
All right.
I'll climb down too.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Chernikov stands there and says, "What should I do?"
Would you like to restrain some wayward seamen with us?
I suppose. And he climbs down as well. Rob, you are close to that area as well, where they are all coming down to where the two men are shoveling. Is there anything in particular you would like to do, Rob?
Well, I checked 6. I'm gonna go and run over to 4.
So you're going to run back through past where they are up to 4?
Well, they're in 5 right now.
Yes. So here, I'll bring up the map. So
Yes, please.
They're in 5. You came from 2.
Okay. And
You
we didn't notice anything over in 4.
3 or 4? No,
All
you
right.
did not.
Then I'm gonna go let because I mean usually in a situation like this you'd be hearing something over the radio over something. I haven't heard boo from a goose. I'm gonna go check if there's something going on in engineering and at least let them know what's going on in terms of what I heard, what I saw, what these fellers is doing, and just because I have not checked in with them since I was called to this.
All right. So, all right, you head back. You are going to head back to engineering. Meanwhile, Kelsey, Morgan, and McLeod. I'm sorry, Grappes, Morgan, and McLeod. And with Chernikov, you approach the Seaman Young and Twombly, who are just methodically shoveling. They do not appear to notice your arrival.
Hey, fuckos! I'm tapping one of them on the shoulder.
A few days at sea will do this, buddy. You know, there's only so many times we can watch the same.
All right,
case.
you tap.
Okay.
You tap Twombly on the shoulder, and he turns, red-rimmed eyes staring at you, past you, through you. He opens his mouth, and a gurgle of seawater spills out of it. Roll initiative. The 3 of you roll initiative.
3 or 4.
What's your primary trait? Is a merchant officer. I'll give you 3. McLeod, you're also there too. Yes, McLeod and Morgan. Morgan, you can roll 4 because you were former Navy.
17. Oh, neat.
I got 4. I'm
McLeod,
gonna
what'd you get?
pee my pants.
Sorry, didn't realize I was muted. I got 13.
13, eh? All right. Morgan, you get to act first. The seawater spills out of his mouth, his eyes staring past you. He's rearing back with the shovel.
Like I said, my first instinct is I'm gonna try to tackle him so he can't get any leverage behind swinging that fucking shovel.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Oh, damn it. That comes out to be a 13.
A 13. You push him back and away from you.
Okay.
You basically roll the same as him. So you push him back and away. He staggers forward again and takes a clumsy swing at you. So roll me 4d6 again. He swings his shovel in your direction.
11.
11. You manage to step back just out of the swipe of the metal shovel blade. The other one stops what he's doing, looks up for a moment, and then turns toward McLeod. But he's only just starting to move. McLeod, it is your turn.
Oh, all right. Do I roll?
What are you doing?
That's a great question. Easy there, lad. Easy. It's me, Michael. Your cook. I made you breakfast. Lunch.
Ji Young is a Korean sailor who's been on the boat for about a year now. You know him. There is no recognition in his eyes. He's starting to lift the shovel over his head.
Oh. I will follow the same thing as Morgan did and just tackle him so I can try to get the shovel out of his hands.
All right. You can roll 3d6.
I can? All right. Thank you.
I know what your side traits are, so you can roll 3.
8.
8. You hit him and kind of bounce off. You lose your footing in the grain and fall to the ground at his feet.
Oh.
Second Officer Kelsey.
I'm a woman on a boat. I'm kicking him in the nuts.
Which one?
Whichever one's near me.
Oh.
'Cause I figured I would have whichever one Morgan approached, I would approach the other one going like, "Hey, buddy, we've been
Okay,
at sea for
that
a
is
while."
the one that McLeod just tried to tackle, and he failed and fell to the ground. So, yes, you can kick him. So go ahead and roll me 3d6 for that.
Yep. 11.
You connect solidly. Like his unborn children just cried out in pain. And it knocks him off balance into the ground, but no cry escapes his lips. No covering up of the injury occurs. It's almost as if you hurt him, but he didn't feel it. And he's trying to get back to his feet again almost immediately. Morgan, your turn.
I'm going to try to tackle the one that took a swing at me again. I want to get that shovel out of his hands at the very least.
All right, so you're trying to disarm him then.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and roll me 4d6.
14.
You catch his hands above his head and wrench the shovel away from him and shove him back in the process.
Okay.
He lumbers forward toward you and throws a very slow and awkward punch at you. Roll me 46 again.
17.
You easily dodge out of the way of it. McLeod, you're on the ground under next to an also prone Ji Young.
Can I scramble over and grab the shovel away from him?
You can certainly try. Roll me 3d6.
All right. Oh, much better this time. 12.
12. You actually managed to get the shovel away from him before he gets to his feet.
All right. Stay, lad.
Second Officer Kelsey, great. Grappes.
All right, so the shovel's out of his hands. I'm gonna try to get a hold on him, get his arms behind his back, incapacitate, so we can get these guys tied up so they are not a threat to themselves or us.
All right. Go ahead and roll me 3d6 on that.
Mm-hmm. 7.
He's wily. He manages to evade your grip. Morgan, you've got a shovel in your hand.
All right. I'm not ready to El Kabong somebody with a shovel just yet. So I'm going to throw the shovel away and just try to punch him.
All right, go ahead and roll 46, punch him.
9.
You connect solidly with his jaw. His head spins around and he falls to the ground. No sound comes out of him, and he's already trying to get back up onto his feet.
What the? Stay down, buddy. Stay down, buddy.
He does get up to his feet, and this time attempts to bear hug you. So roll me 46 for that.
Please be a good one. 11.
Yeah, you manage to back away from it as he lunges at you and misses. The one that's on the ground that McLeod, you've taken the shovel from, clambers to his feet and takes a wild swing at Second Officer Grappes. Grappes, roll me 3d6.
Eight.
Oh, you're lucky. The swing goes. I rolled a 7. The swing goes wide, but only just barely. Mac, what are you doing?
I see. Hey, don't do that to the gaffer! And I'm holding the shovel, and I hike up my grip on it so my hands are closer to the shovel blade, and basically see if I can just, with the flat of it, hit him upside the head to
Sure.
not be pulled.
All right, roll 3d6.
10.
10. In your attempt to hit him lightly, you hit him too lightly, and it basically does no damage. Kink.
Pink.
Stay off the gaffer!
Boink.
Appreciate the effort there, Cook.
I'm a cook, not a fighter.
Officer Kelsey.
Crap. So, all right. So he swung at me, so he's not too far from me.
No, he's very close.
Yeah. All right, and McLeod's got the shovel. I mean, the nuts didn't work. Not going to do a throat punch. I'm going to dive for the legs just to knock him to the ground.
All right.
And then try to get his arms behind him.
All right, roll me 3d6.
14.
You hit him in the thighs and he goes down. You've bound up his legs and down he goes. You're on top of him. He's face down. You're on top of him holding his legs from behind because he sort of had turned toward McLeod when he got smacked. So you're kind of on top of him with his legs bound up, laying on him, pinning him to the grain. Morgan.
I am going to, since he missed me on the grab, I'm going to try to slide behind him and get him into some sort of rear naked choke type situation.
All right, go ahead. Roll 4.
I'm going to spend a...
You don't have it.
We don't have any yet?
Nope, sure don't.
Okay, sometimes we start with them. I just wasn't sure. That's all good. All good. Let's pray then. 15.
There was no need to pray. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3. So you get him up and you get him into a submission kind of chokehold from behind.
Okay.
He is totally bound up. He continues to struggle a little bit, but you keep a nice... Actually, roll me 4d6 again. He's trying to break out on his turn because it's now his turn.
13.
No, you have him totally locked down. Kelsey, roll for me 3d6s as Young tries to get out from underneath as well.
9.
You manage to keep a grip on him. Mac.
I'm going to go help the gaffer, and I'm going to grab his arms and pin them behind his back.
Yeah, roll me 3d6, and I'm going to give my guy a penalty die.
Ooh, 9.
Oh, yeah, I rolled a 4.
All right.
You have him totally submissed, wrapped up. He can't even really move. Morgan, I'm sorry, Kelsey. Do you just want to hang on to him? What do you want to do?
What do I have anywhere? Are there zip ties? Am I about to rip the little scarf off of McLeod to tie him up?
You don't have any zip ties on you. That's not a normal thing you walk around with.
Well, I mean, like anywhere in the room for
It's a
equipment.
big steel chamber full of grain.
Yep. McLeod?
Yeah, here we
Thank
go.
you. Oop, sailor knot.
Anybody? You're tying up what part of him with that?
His hands behind his back.
All right. You managed the two of you managed to wrestle his hands behind his back and tie them together.
And I'm screaming into my walkie-talkie as soon as that happens.
So that's turn. Morgan, what do you just going to maintain your hold?
Actually, I'm going to try to take it a step further and cinch it in, and then basically jump up a little bit and wrap my legs around his waist and fall backwards, so I have complete control of him and take him up. Try to take him off of his feet.
Are you trying to choke him out, or are you just trying to restrain him?
I'm trying to restrain him with the option of choking him out if he continues to struggle.
All right, go ahead and roll for your maneuver. Roll 4.
15.
You succeed. You have him lying on top of you. You're on your back, but you've got him all wrapped up.
Okay.
He continues to struggle. Roll me 4.
Oh yeah, duh. You were talking to me.
Yes, I'm sorry. Nick, roll 4.
10.
When you fall, he manages to get free from you. After a few kicks, he manages to get loose. I rolled a 16. He manages to push his way away from you. The young, however, is bound up. His legs are flailing now, but his arms are secured behind his back. McLeod, what are you doing?
Other guy just got free. I suppose I'm gonna get over there and try to help Morgan. I'm gonna go
I
for his
assume
legs.
it's not very easy to walk through.
No,
the grain.
it's loose grain.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go for his legs.
All right, you're going to tackle his legs as he tries to get up?
Yeah.
Go ahead, roll me 3.
Oh, that was terrible. 5.
Yeah, he manages to kick you away. Kelsey, he's trying to get up and move. But his arms are tied behind his back. And you've been shouting into the radio.
Yes, I began shouting into the radio. I tried to regain my composure as I am calling for Master Davidson. I'm calling for First Officer Galliard. I'm calling for anyone that will pick up at this point. We've got a situation in hold 5. I say the names of the gentlemen that are under duress, that we have one tied up. We are working on the other. I see that those two, I don't see how I could help that situation. So I just go ahead and sit on the one that I have so he stops trying to get up.
All right. He does not stop trying to get up, but you have greatly hindered his ability to get up.
I do.
Morgan.
Walks as good as a run.
All right, so this time I'm going to try to take him down to the ground again.
All right, go ahead.
Forward and basically try to tackle him.
All right.
And that is a 17.
You totally tackle him. Textbook linebacker move. Just wrap him up. Right down he goes into the grain. His head goes under the level of the grain, and you've got him pinned down. He struggles. Give me a roll real quick. Again, Nick Morgan.
Yeah, baby, 19.
Careful, you
yeah,
might suffocate.
you've totally got him controlled and down. The other one is its legs are flapping, trying to get loose, but he doesn't really have any leverage point. So there's that. McLeod, you're there now.
I'm gonna go sit on his legs.
On whose legs?
On Gion's.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
To stop him from moving. Done.
Yeah.
And Second Officer Kelsey, I assume you're just going to continue doing that, keeping him still.
All right, so they've got the other one. Not wrapped up,
Nick
but-
has him wrapped up. He's obviously tackled him.
And his face is under the grain.
Gentlemen, let's assess the situation. No one is answering me on the walkies. Our crewmates.
Can't assess. Grappling with seawater spittle.
Morgan, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. So
No, both of your fellow crewmen are still struggling.
oh, I know they are, but I'm talking to the two that don't have saltwater drool.
Yeah,
So-
how about listening? Kind of busy.
I know. I think it just need to center for a second. Because no one's answering.
Gaffer,
Yeah.
yeah. We got a problem. If any help at all.
At that moment, Chernikov returns. He ran off, and he's returned with a length of line, a length of a rope.
Oh, thank God.
There's a good lad. All right.
I thought this might be
Beautiful
useful.
rusty bastard.
It's a good lad.
No one
All
gave
right.
me orders. I did what I needed to do.
I totally forgot you existed. All right, so let's get
People
these
often
guys
do.
tied up.
All right, you tie them up. We're going to leave you at that.
Oh.
Because meanwhile, while this is all happening, back in the machine room, in the engine room, Rob, you get into the engine room to pandemonium. As you enter in, you see Chief Engineer Fred Armstrong backed up against a corner, swinging the butt end of a fire extinguisher at Second Engineer Betty Salvatore, Oiler Mark Tannenbaum, and Wiper Eli Davidson, who are all trying to pin him into the corner. They have, the three of them have a similar glazed expression on their faces and are clumsily trying to get at Chief Engineer Armstrong. And he's yelling at them to get back, and he's trying to ward them off with the butt of a full-size fire extinguisher.
I'm gonna assume there's a wrench.
Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of tools all around.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the biggest wrench, and I'm just gonna go for the knees of one of them big because this don't sound good. If this is I mean, I'm paranoid about this kind of situation anyway. I shouldn't be listening to the audiobooks I'm listening to. Also, he knows more about this ship than anything else. We need him more than we need Betty or Whitey or myself. So we need him around. I'm going for pick up a wrench. I'm going after one of them knees.
All right. The closest guy is the Oiler Mark Tannenbaum. Go ahead and roll. What are your traits again?
I mean, mechanic, audiophile, and science fiction enthusiast.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you roll 3 because for the mechanic, you would have a certain degree of strength.
That's going to be a 9.
That's good because I rolled an 8 because they're not paying attention. You connect solidly with Mark Tenenbaugh's knee. It gives a sickening crunch, and you can see the patella is no longer where it's supposed to be. And he topples over like the last piece of a Jenga puzzle has been removed, and he falls tumbling to the ground. No cry of pain. No noise comes out of him. He just simply can't stand on that leg anymore and falls over.
Now, with my this is where I feel this might come in handy. With my knowledge of science fiction enthusiast, does this ring true of anything I have read or listened to?
Sure, give me a roll for science fiction.
Because I mean, we heard a noise and then something's up. Is it?
Go ahead.
That's the 9 again.
Certainly sounds like the stories of sirens and that kind of thing.
Ah, damn it. We got sirens or something. Hell, I don't know.
So you've knocked out his knee. Fred Armstrong shoves back Betty, who staggers back toward you at that very moment. And what do you do then? The two that are remaining attacking Fred Armstrong apparently don't even know that you're there.
I'm gonna hit her with a wrench.
Just generally smack her.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Roll me through.
I've never liked her anyway, if I'm being totally honest.
I noticed that from the intro.
She made some advances on me the first day that were unwelcomed.
Told you she was the worst.
That is a gentleman's 12 for smacking a lady. Oh, it's the 90s. It's a simpler time.
Oh, ow.
It doesn't make it right.
No, you're right. You are correct. But people still called Ike Turner later on in the year.
Ugh.
Yeah, we hopefully we will progress as a society. In 1990, things are bad.
Your wrench connects solidly with her left shoulder blade. You hear an audible snap. You wouldn't be surprised if it's a collarbone. And it spins her. Excuse me. It spins her into the bulkhead. There is probably a lot of internal damage there. Fred Armstrong finally sees what you are doing. And he goes, "Thank God you're not one of them." And he attempts to brain Wiper Eli Davidson in the head. Which he fails to do. He swings at him and misses with the fire extinguisher, and he screams out, he's like, "I caught him trying to sabotage the engines."
Well, we can't have that. And I give that fella a rap down as well.
All right, go ahead.
That is a 13.
You smack him not as thoroughly as you would like in the side, but it does set him off balance somewhat. And at that moment, hands reach up and grab your leg. The man whose knee you took out, which was Eli Davidson. Actually, he has less hit points than that. From prone, he's grabbing at your leg. So give me roll me 3d6.
I'm gonna use one of them helps.
Very good. Rob using a help.
That's 14.
He grabs onto your pant leg and starts to overbalance you, and you manage to yank your leg out of the way just in time. I rolled a 14 as well. Fred Armstrong attempts to bean Mark Tannenbaum again, the one you just hit, and does, breaking Tannenbaum's nose and sending him sprawling onto his back. What do you do?
I smashed the hand of Eli Davidson.
Very well. Go ahead.
Or I'm going to attempt to with a 6.
A 6, you miss. It's too low. You reach down to swipe at him. Betty lunges at you. The woman whose shoulder you crunched. Go ahead and roll me 3 again.
12.
12. You just barely managed to dodge her grasp. Fred Armstrong smacks at Tannenbaum again and misses this time. Tannenbaum has fallen back, and Armstrong is afraid to get him out of his protective corner too much. Eli grabs at your leg once more and is trying to pull himself up your body. Go ahead and roll, Rob.
14.
You easily step back out of range. And what do you do in response?
Since I'm out of range of him, I'm gonna smack at Betty.
All right, you can smack Betty. Go ahead.
That's just a 10.
A 10. You miss. You hit some machinery.
Sorry.
1, 2, 3. We did 3 rounds up there. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep track of what things are occurring simultaneously. You are still in. Nick, Michael, and Kelsey are still in their battle at this exact moment.
Yes.
So I was just trying to keep track of when things were happening.
You're doing the math, you're doing the work, and we appreciate the hell out of it.
Well, you'll appreciate more when Fred Armstrong finally connects and brains Mark Tannenbaum, the Oiler, once again, as he lurches to his feet toward him. This time, Mark Tannenbaum falls to the ground and doesn't move anymore. Blood begins to pool from his fractured skull onto the floor of the engine room. Davidson lurches forward once again at you, Rob. Please roll 3d6 again.
$12.
He tackles you to the ground, and you take 2 points of damage as you fall. You would have normally 18 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
You do, however, manage to retain your wrench.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna. I'm swinging. Captain's killed a person, or not captain, but Chief's killed a person. This guy's trying to get at. You know, I'm gonna take a swing at Eli.
All right, go ahead.
Right across the chin, or what is left of the chin, with a 17.
Oh dear God.
665.
His entire jaw dislocates. teeth go flying across the room. He chokes on for 1 second. It gives a little gurgle of choking, and then falls to the ground motionless.
Is it the salt water? It's the
no, it's blood. And maybe salt water, you can't tell.
well, I mean,
But there's
if we're,
definitely
if we're
blood in
if
there.
we're being literal with it, you know,
You
blood
definitely
is
have-
a kind of salt water.
Oh my god.
His jaw has dislocated at the very least, and he is unconscious at the very least. Armstrong, undeterred, continues now at Betty, swings his fire extinguisher, connects with her torso and sends her back as she was approaching him once again. Rob, it is your turn.
I'm gonna help out the chief and swing at Betty.
All right, go ahead.
That's just a 10.
You hit her in the back of the skull with a thud and a crunch, and she crumples like a rag doll to the ground because I rolled a 4. Armstrong is there panting. What the hell is happening?
I have no idea. Officer Grappe's Nick and the cook are dealing with a similar situation over in the tank number 5. They were Harris and Young were trying to sabotage the grain.
Are they all going crazy?
Man, I don't even know. But we all heard something, and next thing we knew, it all went to hell. Did you hear anything up here?
I was working on the engines, and the others were up on the catwalks up above, away from the engines, and then he suddenly came down and they started monkeying with anything. They weren't doing anything specific. They just started monkeying with the machinery, and I yelled at them, and they didn't stop.
Have we heard
And
anything?
then when I
from the
grabbed
bridge?
hold of Betty to make her stop, that's when they all attacked me.
Have we heard anything from the bridge?
I've been busy. I haven't heard anything.
You make try to make contact with the bridge.
He goes over to the intercom, slams it, and starts yelling into it. After a few moments, you just hear, actually Master Davidson, Henry Davidson, go, I'm busy. Help on the bridge.
I'm going up the I'm going up the ladder, and I am sincerely hoping that Eli and Mark were not close. They just shared a last name.
They were cousins.
Oh.
Yes.
And those two. All right. Meanwhile, Kelsey, Morgan, Michael.
Kelsey Morgan Michaels, that is my favorite Christian contemporary artist.
Yeah, he's a little bit better than Stephen Curtis Chapman, that's for sure.
I prefer Amy Grant. Is there any room that would be a makeshift brig?
One of the crew cabins.
How many?
Crew cabins are all like dorm rooms.
Yeah. Because they don't seem like they would overcome a locked door. If I'm able to put them in somewhere and lock the door behind me.
I'm not sure that's something I want to trust right now.
No. I would like to put these two gentlemen in, not these two gentlemen. But the two gentlemen on the grain floor, I would like to put them in a locked room. And then, yeah, I would like to lock them in a room. And then I want to get to the bridge and get some answers. And report in, of course.
I guess me and the Rusky can take them up to the room.
You're a peach. I'm going to leave that in your hands.
Go with you, Gaffer.
Come on, McLeod.
All right, so tell me exactly what is happening again.
So Morgan and Chasky.
And Chekhov.
Chernikov, but yes.
Chernikov.
Okay.
Morgan and Nabokov are going to take these two and lock them in a dorm.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm taking McLeod and we are heading up to the bridge to.
All right. You have to go past the crew's quarters to get there, so you'll all get to the crew's quarters at the same time.
I love saying goodbye to you guys and then have us all be walking the same way. You'd think that it would stop getting awkward on a boat like this after this many weeks.
Well,
let's take them up, and then Hay and I will take care of locking them in the room. Then we'll come right after you to meet you up at the.
I'm trying to prevent you from splitting the party into thirds, since you've already split in two parts already.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make an interesting narration. Carry on.
Well,
all I need to point out, since he's not here right now, I'd like to point out that it's the three of us who are basically the non-violent offenders here. We are trying to keep people alive, and then he's all over there like,
you haven't seen anything. You don't even know what's happening in my situation. And the chief was having a whole thing. Oh, I'm not even in this room.
There's an omniscient narrator to all this. He's telling us what's going on.
This is why engineering wears red.
Exactly.
Well, conveniently, you all meet in the galley area because that's off of where the kitchens are. Rob is on his way up toward the bridge with Chief Engineer Armstrong with him, and then the three of you plus Chernikov. So that's a total of 6 of you now. And you all almost run into each other in the galley.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rob is speckled in blood, as is Armstrong.
Yeah, they're not just tickling just to move some grain. They are out to kill us.
Yeah.
There's more people acting weird.
Yes and no. There were more people doing it. There's at least 3 that are no longer an issue. Let us get up to the Mark Davidson, Master Davidson is having himself a time. So let's posse up with him.
All right, our master's in trouble. Moving.
Since we're at the galley, I stop and grab a frying pan.
That's fair. You know what? I'm just gonna grab this nice, pretty butcher knife. I like the weight of it. It's nice. Chef, do I need to ask you before I touch your knives? I already have it in my hand. Here's the thing.
It's fine, Gaffer.
Thank you.
I know where you live.
Chernikov says, "I've got these 2."
All right.
And he pushes them in front of him, and he's obviously stuffing them into one of the dorm rooms. Armstrong peels off to help him. So it's the 4 of you now.
All right, so we can head. Let's go up and make sure the master's doing all right.
It's such a Doctor Who type sentence, by the way. Let's make sure the master's doing all right.
As you go up through so the way it works, there's the galley level. There's the bridge level, and then there's the bridge itself above that. So in the bridge level, not where the ship's steering is, but here, as you come through, you see there is a body on the ground. Its head staved in. It's the teenager, Chad Hemmings, the deck cadet.
Oh.
Fresh out of Merchant Marine School. Next to him lies a fire axe just on the ground. It was pulled off the wall, apparently, used on him, and then dropped on the ground.
Oh, good.
Does anyone not have a weapon yet?
No, I guess I'll grab the axe.
You seem like an axe guy.
Captain.
There's the gangway that go. There's the stairs, the narrow stairs that go up to the actual navigation bridge, and you can hear some sort of commotion going on up there.
So cautiously but swiftly, I will, as second officer, I will go up first.
As you open the door that goes there, there is a stack of people trying to force their way up. Bosun Gary Burkhouse, third officer Dominic Benzio, also Chief Steward Kevin Marigold and Steward's assistant Ed Milacek are all trying to force their way up into the bridge, the navigation bridge. Foamy water streams from their mouths. Their eyes have that same vacant, glazed look.
Awesome. Wish I had picked up rope.
And that is where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, early.
Our heroes have subdued 2 of their former crewmates. Chernikov has locked them in a room with the help of Fred Armstrong, the chief engineer. Meanwhile,
The
Captain
anti-hero.
Davidson is called for help. You don't know where Chief Officer Martin Galliard is, but you do know the captain's up on the bridge, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of your fellow crewmen trying to break their way onto the bridge. And that is where we are going to end it for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Ooh, I like this. Well, I mean, can he do Southern as good as I can? I mean, I like the image of me being Kurt Russell. I like that very much.
Have you not watched Hateful Eight?
Well, I guess I can't. They're Southern, but I mean, we're talking 1990s Kurt Russell. That is. I mean, this is the one game I give the mustache for. Crime in Italy.
He's kind of got a little bit of a Southern in Big Trouble in Little China.
I mean, as Southern as he gets is that his Tombstone, but that's just West, you know.
Not true. True.
Big Trouble in Little China is absolutely on the boat somewhere.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, I was watching it yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for joining us. So glad you could be here. We're going to pick this up again next week and see what the hell is going on this boat. But before I do that, I want to take a moment and introduce our players and see who they really are in their real lives. So let us start off with Second Officer Kelsey Grappes.
Hello, everyone. I am Katie Bourbon. I would like to invite all of you to the 6th show for Trenton Makes Improv on April 19th. This is a very exclusive announcement because I haven't confirmed it with the theater yet. So the best way to always keep up to date for Trenton Makes Improv is to follow us on Facebook, but more than Instagram, because I never post on Instagram. But yes, follow us on Facebook for all the up-to-date info on our shows, and that's the date we're leaning for, and that will be also the weekend of Smithville for the New Jersey Renaissance Fair. Come see the New Jersey Renaissance Fair. Woo! And that's all the things I have to plug right now.
All right.
Speaking of plugging things, Nick Morgan.
Yes, hi, I'm Nick Morgan, as portrayed by Matt Selly. I'm plugging an improv show as well on March 23rd. Come see myself, Doug Wallace, Jen Espenshade, and the inimitable Todd Lowry do a 4-person dinner and improv show. Outside of that, come see me at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair and the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be there at that improv. I'll still be in Florida for that week.
I know you suck.
If it were the next week, I could do it, but alas, no.
Somewhere.
I could be there, but I wasn't invited.
Oh. We also have ship's cook Michael McLeod.
Hello, I am world famous hat actor Dan Kostelik. I wore a hat last week. I'm wearing a different hat this week. What kind of hats will I wear? Well, next week it'll be the same. You can follow me all over the place. Go follow me on Instagram. Shakespeare.approves. It's the only way I judge my self-worth in life. You can support my music at hobthetroll.bandcamp.com. It is also the only way I judge my self-worth. And you can join me at Scarborough. I'm down here in Texas. And if you want to join me for watching the total solar eclipse on Monday, April 8th, Waxahachie is in the path of totality. There have been no hotel rooms available, so you're going to have to sleep on my couch or someone else's couch. I don't really like people that much, but hey, it's going to be cool.
Funny what your job is that you don't like people that much.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Fair enough.
And I'll also be in New Jersey.
Yes, you will. And we also have our good friend over there. We have Rob Hausencheck.
Hello, I'm Steve O'Dockerson. I'm going to be this weekend at Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. It's going to be a good time. Stop on by there. I'll also be performing at the Fifth Barrel pub. I just got a notification for that. And then I will be at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival for the first 2 weekends of that. And the World of Faye and Milton. I think it's just the 18th. Yes. And you can go to hobthetroll.bandcamp.com. My mouth is better. I had an emergency crown put in and some other stuff. So far, so good. I've got a follow-up appointment next week, and I'm very thankful to everyone who has donated. We've met the goal. It is just like, hopefully nothing else will need to be done, and I can just end it, but it is going to be up until I get the all clear, and then it's good. But thank you so much. Everyone's been very generous.
Excellent. And I'm the Glue Master. My name is Tom Zadoyko. Amongst other things, I do Buckle and Swash, the pirate sword fighting show with Ryan Gelodi, frequent guest on this channel here. We are at the Florida Renaissance Festival. We've been here. We did our 3rd weekend. We're coming up on our 4th. We are there until March 24th. And then after that, you can find the 2 of us again at the Tennessee Renaissance Festival for every weekend in May. And also that Memorial Day Monday, the Tennessee Renaissance Fair is open as well. So we'd love to see you there. As a segue into our sponsorship, I am also one half of Quill and Quote. We are on Patreon. Handler Z, who's been in the background, she writes the stories. I narrate them. You can find us on Patreon and support us directly that way if you are so inclined. You do actually have to type in the entire thing. It's Patreon.com/, /Quill and Quote. Because we're doing horror and some more adult-leaning material, you have to search it directly. But if you want the first compilation of our stories, either in paperback, Kindle, or Audible form, you can find it Dare by Melissa Lee, available on Amazon and Audible. Also, would like to thank our good friends, 3d2u.org. They're good friends of ours with all of their gaming supplies. Check out 3d2u.org. And also, of course, Ren Adventures, renadventures.com. We've got our trip to England coming up very soon. Come and play D&D 5e with us, with Ryan Gelotti, myself, and Paulo Garbanzo in Muncaster Castle in England. The scenario is wild. We were hashing out details of it this week, and we are actually incorporating a lot of the places that we are touring outside of the castle into the game. So not a full-on LARP, but there will be crossover to our tours with the game. So that should be very fun. You can also find Handler Z, who's back in the background running comments, will be on tomorrow, hopefully, at 10 a.m., depending on what our daughter, Helena, who's only 5 months old, has to say about it. So we will see if she is able to proceed in that fashion. Again, thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. We're going to pick it up again next week, where we'll see what is happening and why is it happening on the merchant ship Caroline in the middle of the North Pacific. So until then, thank you very much, everyone. And yes, Screaming Dragon, good night, and see you next week. Thank you all. Have a pleasant evening.
I hate
Mwah!